Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot for September 9th. So, as you can see, Jerry decided it was time to say hello. For those of you who have been asking for a pet parade, one is coming. Just you have to just be patient for another week or so. But Jerry wanted to pop in and say hello and say, I guess, happy end of summer. Except for those lucky people, down under. All right, that's it. Now, Jerry's upset because he wants to go outside, but we've experienced 2 days of a really crazy cold snap out here. And even though it's going to be warming up today and for the next several days, it's a little chilly this morning, and he's a little annoyed that he's not being allowed to go outside. So if you hear him yowling in the background, and trust me, Jerry yowls really good, that's the problem. Say bye. Down you get. Go have a nap or something. Be quiet. Hello. Okay, so, wow. Lots and lots going on, eh? Welcome to all of my new subscribers. I'm so delighted that you're here. And of course, to my established ones, I just adore you. So thank you for all of the support. It's tremendously appreciated. It really, really is. I want to take a look today. Oh, before I do that, I heard the most distressing thing yesterday. It was that Biden has currently nationally about a 8 to 10 point lead against Trump. Yay, great news. However, by a small percentage of points or a small number of points, people think Trump is going to win. So that is exactly the kind of fear energy that we've been talking about, right? Where people are so spooked and so scared that that one trick pony is going to be able to pull off another like startling upset that people are almost like afraid to hope that he can be removed from office. And so my question is simply this. Would you rather spend, the next 55 or so days in a state of high anxiety or in a state of hope? Okay. I know it's hard. I get it. I know. But everybody's got to do everything they can. And you know what? My viewers are amazing at staying positive and hopeful, et cetera, et cetera. But we are fighting a bit of an uphill battle, right, in terms of energy and emotion. So just a heads up on that. And speaking of which, this Sunday's Positive Energy Circle is going to be around Joe Biden and Kamala Harris so that we increase their protection and the light around them, and hopefully we can make that, protect them and surround them and enhance that light energy around them, because trust me, they're going to be coming under attack. Alrighty, so here we go. Today I want to take a look at a couple of things. The first thing I want to take a look at is DeJOY. I don't even know his first name anymore. I don't care. I don't like the look of the guy. But I want to take a look at what's going on with him, because now the House committees are going to be investigating him because apparently he was making employees donate to Trump's campaign. And he said, when asked about it, that he absolutely did not do that. And then a whole string of employees, surfaced and said, yeah, he absolutely did. So he's now going to be under House investigation. So I want to take a look at that. And of course, he's, instrumental in completely wrecking the post office. So I'm going to take a look at him. I think I'm going to try to take a look at Mitch McConnell, who is not only a turtle, but honestly, I'm starting to really think of him as runaway boy. You know what? I mean, as soon as things get tough and he doesn't have any answers, it's a recess. And then we're going to take a quick look at old Donnie Boy and see how he's doing. So here we go. Let's take a look at DeJOY first. Come on down. I have a question. Okay, so Post office DeJOY, post office DeJOY, post office DeJOY. Here we go. All right. So he is maybe surprisingly, I don't know, maybe not surprisingly, he is feeling like a little bamboozled these days, right? I mean, he just, his head is almost spinning. When you live in the Trump bubble or you believe the Trump storyline or the propaganda, you kind of, like many before him and many who are still there, you kind of come to believe that somehow you are invincible and that, you can pretty much do whatever you want because Trump said so and kind of get away with it because you tend to think that everybody else is toothless, right? That there's nothing they can do to you because you're somehow under this umbrella of protection when it comes to what you do on behalf of Trump. So he's a little bit surprised that he's actually coming under a fair degree of scrutiny and attack. And he is starting to recognize that for a lot of people, being on the side of Trump is not considered to be on the side of right. And what he is doing with the post office on his behalf, on Trump's behalf, is really, really messing up and muddying the waters. And this is what continues to just astound me. I am quite sure that there are Republicans who are on Social Security, have Social Security. I'm quite sure that there are Republicans who get their medicines through the mail. I am quite sure that there are vets who are Republican and active service members and their families who are Republican. But he doesn't seem to be quite grasping the fact that by doing what he's doing to the post office, he is really, really not only is he not winning points, not only is he destroying his reputation, not only does he look foolish and like a sycophant, but in his own way, he almost was like not smart enough to at least get Trump to understand that, this may backfire in your face, buddy. Boy, nope, not going to go there because whatever Trump wants, Trump gets. Well, so now he's paying the price. And you know what? This is the thing, right? Here comes the long arm of the law, if you will. And in this case, of course, it represents the House committees that are going to be investigating him and what he's doing. So he's going to try. It feels almost like he's going to dodge this or shift the date. But either way, whenever he shows up in front of him, he's really, really going to try to play a game, a childish game, sort of like Bar. Oh, I don't remember. No, I don't know if that's the law. That kind of stuff. And he's going to end up looking even worse. And the backroom deals are going to start coming out. And this is what is dangerous for him, is the backroom deals that are coming out are not only going to be about Trump and the post office, they're somewhere, and again, I don't think this is the House committee, but I think journalists are going to start doing a little bit of a deep dive into his business practices and into some of the deals that he has made on the site. And he's going to be facing some significant exposure because of that. Now, it really feels as if, the House is really sort of ramping up, if you will, kind of the aggression, right? I mean, they are starting to go after people in situations with sort of a lot more aggression that is typically seen by the Democrats. But they are really, really forging ahead because they have great clarity about exactly how many of the norms and the safety nets and the guardrails and the security that is really, really being impacted and frankly destroyed and weakened under not only what DeJoy is doing, but under the Trump administration. And it's not like they were unaware of it before, as much as they're starting to see it ramping up and moving forward faster and faster. And so they are jumping on things faster and faster. Exactly, of course, the way you see Biden and Harris jumping on faster and faster to not let some of this stuff that's going on lie and just let it lay there like as if there isn't a response necessary or needed. So, yeah. All right. This is the problem with DeJoy. He tries to straddle the fence. He does, right? He doesn't want to upset Trump. But he also doesn't really want to upset the committees who do these investigations. And so he tries to sort of straddle. And in doing that, he ends up kind of damaging his own credibility because you have this idea that he says, oh, I'm not doing that. I'm not removing stuff, or I'm going to, put back the overtime, or whatever nonsense that comes out of his mouth. But behind the scenes, he's sort of continuing to behave in a way that is a closer reflection to what Trump wants. So he's sitting there straddling the fence. He's going to try as many tricks as he can. Now, this is the thing to remember about this guy. Energetically, he is not a stupid man. I don't know that I would call him brilliantly intelligent either. What he is somebody who has a very sort of harsh way of looking at life and by extension business. And he looks at the post office as a business enterprise that is losing money, as opposed to a service to the American people that is overseen by the government. So he is that person who literally would threaten his employees and say, you need to make donations to Trump's campaign or you're going to face ramifications. He is like sort of a bully. Okay. He has that kind of energy about him where it's like, well, if I can't get you to do what I want, I'm just going to force you to do what I want. And that message is going to become clearer and clearer as more and more is found out about him. And frankly, more people speak out about him. And that's actually going to start giving him some significant stress and anxiety and worry because he's starting to realize that just like the multitudes before him, it doesn't matter what you do to support Trump. As soon as you start getting bad press, or bad press especially for Trump, look out. Your days are numbered. And so that's kind of what's going on. So he's now kind of in his, moments of quiet, recognizing that he has really risked a lot to come into this administration and to um, you know, try to help Trump, try to support Trump. It's going to be about the money for him. There's going to be irregularities with money. They're going to find out more and more about him forcing people, or, forcing people, there's not another way to say it, to do things, to spend money, to give contributions. And it's not going to go well for him. It's not going to look good. Secrets are going to come out. They're absolutely going to come out. And I don't see where it's going to go well for him. And I see that it appears as if he's going to be getting some significant backlash. This news is not going to be well received. And there is absolutely going to be pushback. And the thing is, I'm really focusing in on the armor on this Knight of Cups card. And so it really does feel like he thinks he's protected. And so he thinks he's going to be okay. He's really trusting that he's going to be okay. Now, this is the thing. His tenure there is going to end. Is it going to end, before the election? I don't think so. As of right now, I'm not getting a strong read on that. But listen, he's going to be gone. And so he is starting to really recognize that he has gotten himself into significant trouble. And of course, this is the card of theft, right? This is the card of taking what is not yours by trickery, by any means possible. And so ultimately, that's going to end up being his reputation. That's going to be his legacy. That's going to be what people remember him for. They're not going to remember him for whatever else he did that he thinks was important or special throughout his life. No, they're just going to remember him for the fact that he moved into one of the United States' most beloved institutions, and he, in trying to help a mad king, he damaged himself significantly, and this is the problem, right? There are very, very few people who don't get damaged with Trump, right? And ultimately, they only sort of end up surviving or having any credibility within that very tight conservative Republican community. So I think he's going to be in for a bit of a bumpy ride. I don't think that these hearings are going to go smoothly for him. He's going to try to bluster his way through. He's going to try to be evasive. It's not going to work for him. I don't see this coming out well for him. He's going to end up kind of looking not good. It's not good. All right, let's take a look at Mitch McConnell. What is the story with him? So he is in a bit of a race. As of right now, the way I understand it, he is still leading in the polls in Kentucky. Those protests have been going on. I actually had somebody tell me it's like 104 or 106 days now. I don't know. I haven't heard. Of course, I don't tap into Kentucky news, but it doesn't sound like he's doing a heck of a lot to try to deal with the nonsense in his own backyard, deal with his own stuff. But he certainly has run away from the Senate. He certainly has run away from Washington, because he certainly doesn't seem to want to be there, and he doesn't seem to want to be having to answer for Trump's behavior or some of the comments. So let's take a look and just quickly see how Mitch McConnell's doing. Come on back down. I have a question about Mitch McConnell. Mitch McConnell. Here we go. Oh, interesting. Look at that. The Fool card, which is one of my Trump cards, is sitting right there on the bottom. All right. Tell me about Mitch. Tell me about Mitch. Tell me about Mitch. All right. So there's going to be some continued exposure coming for him. There's going to be stuff coming out. And again, like, I don't get Kentucky news, so I'm not really sure what that may or may not look like. But it feels as if he is going to be up against some tough situations. Is this that maybe there's going to be more that comes out about him and Elaine and their, in her family's business, and all of the favors and all the money that she sends to line her own and Mitchell's pockets? Is it going to be maybe about something about that aluminum plant and the Russians? I don't know, but it looks as if there's going to be some definite stuff coming out, and it's gonna, mm, it's gonna put him in a difficult position. Um, and I have to tell you, honestly, it really looks like he's going to deal with it for the most part by simply ignoring it, by, pandering to his base, pandering to the people who still believe him and think he's amazing. I don't get that, but apparently they're out there. And he right now, frankly, he's doing two things, and it's interesting because on the one hand, he's trying desperately, desperately to hang on to his power. So that is as a senator, and that is leader of the Senate. And I don't mean to disappoint the guy, but I really don't see that happening. And he's also working very, very hard at doing whatever he needs to do to secure, hold on to, hide, maybe, money and assets. Because he's been in the political game a really long time. And this is the thing, right? Politicians will say the sky is blue until they're defeated on election night. And then they say, oh, I guess it's raining outside. So it doesn't really, in many cases, matter what the heck is coming out of their mouth because you can't trust it. So he's going to continue to carry on as if, he's loved and, he's in a safe, secure place and nobody can unseat him. But at this point, energetically, it doesn't really feel like he's going to win much of anything. But these cards are indicating that at this point, he still has a fighting chance. And, that's concerning. Now, I know my pendulum has said for a long time now that he's not going to win re-election. And I'm not deviating from that, but this card here is interesting. It really is interesting. Yeah, more information is going to be coming out about stuff going on behind the scenes, money that maybe isn't filled with light. And there's going to be information coming out, it looks like fairly quickly, and it's going to impact his standing in terms of being, with the Trump administration, securing that seat going forward. But I have to tell you, as of right now, he's got some cards here that are not terrible. And some of them are not great, okay? Like, for example, the star I am reading reversed, okay? So what this means is the hope, the promise, that's not going to come to fruition. It's not going to come to fruition because you have things coming to light that were shrouded in mystery before or hidden. You have justice coming in and coming after him. Also, not a great card if you are in his position. But there definitely looks at this point as if the race is not sewed up, okay? So he still has, I'm just looking, yeah, he still has work to do. He's not going to be a shoo-in, and his challenger is really, really going to be pushing hard and pushing against him towards kind of, I want to say the middle or the end of September. You're going to see him in a much, much more defensive mode, a more defensive position. He's not going to be on the offensive. He is really going to have to be defending himself. So, is that because information comes out that doesn't sit well with his voters or the public? I don't know. Maybe, maybe the Lincoln Project or one of those are going to start really focusing some of their ad money on him. We'll see, I guess. All right. Let's take a quick look at how Trump is doing. Cohen's book is out. Got a lot to say about it. There's a lot of information coming out. And this is the thing. It's not really so much that we don't know some of this stuff because a lot of it has already come out. But it's sort of kind of gossipy. Now, this is the thing. I want to just send out a cautionary note, okay? Because when he talks about Trump, he really does say this man will stoop to nothing. He's going to do whatever it takes to steal the election. He's not going to leave office peacefully. And that may all come to pass. However, you know, when you have had a traumatic experience and then you're kind of faced with a similar situation the second time, the trauma from the first situation or the trauma that you're dealing with continues to impact and affect what you're doing. That's part of what I think is going on with Michael Cohen. He has already gotten the shaft big time. For the love of God, he ended up in jail, not once, but twice, because they were trying to stuff him back in there to keep him quiet. And now he's out on house arrest, and so now he can talk about his book, and that's what he's busy doing. But, you know, once you've been sort of slayed by the monster, it's very hard to kind of think that maybe the monster is going to lose his power. And so I'm not saying to disregard what Cohen is saying. I'm saying, though, understand it's coming from a place of trauma for him. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Let's take a look at Trump, shall we? How's good old Trump doing? Well, illumination of money, family legacy. I think maybe that's not going to bode well for him, certainly in terms of court cases that might be coming up, that kind of thing. So tell me about Trump. Let's do a quick dive on Trump and see how he's doing. For those who sent me the information on the Vedic astrology, thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. All right, let's take a look at the guy. Trump's current state, Trump's current state, Trump's current state. Wow, as soon as I tapped into his energy, I had a picture of a blindfolded man crazy, dancing and spinning and twirling around. And he doesn't understand that he's getting very close to the edge because he's blindfolded. He can only see what he wants to see or what he wants to believe. And he's spinning and spinning and spinning. He's getting closer and closer to that edge. And he doesn't see it. He doesn't recognize it. Sort of makes me question how much farther removed from reality he might be. Oh boy. Okay, so women are coming to get him, right? Once again, he's got female energy around him and it's doing him harm, okay? So, and whatever it is, it's gonna cause him some real anxiety and some real stress. So I don't know. Is that coming from Nancy Pelosi? Is it coming from Kamala Harris? Is it coming from suburban women? Is it coming from some past infidelity or relationship that's going to surface or bubble up? But ultimately, female energy is going to be a big part of what brings him down. And then when he comes down, when he gets down, then what's going to finish him off is his business dealings and his money situations, okay? But it looks like he's sort of being a little tormented by anything having to do with the feminine, okay? And he has this Wheel of Fortune card here, but it's not a good card in the sense that it has to do with the fact that he is stressed and he is out of sorts and he's not sleeping and he's becoming more and more erratic. And frankly, he is terrified. He has really hit the place of terrified when it comes to more stuff coming out, more secrets coming out. And the more he gets scared, he doubles down, he triples down, and he becomes, more and more kind of erratic. Things are going to come at him fast and furious, and I don't think he's not going to handle it, right? We know he doesn't handle it. He doesn't like it as soon as things aren't, as soon as he's not the center of attention, or he's getting a lot of bad press. Again, it looks like there's going to be another offer made to him to maybe leave office. Is he going to do it? Probably not. Because by this point, he's flat addicted. Okay, he's addicted to the power. He's addicted to the status and the office. He's addicted to all the backroom deals that are filling up his pockets. And by extension, filling up the pockets of people he actually foolishly thinks are going to be there for him after he is no longer president, even though I know right now he wants to be king until he dies. But he doesn't understand that it is his own destructive behavior. It is his own greed. It's his own self, all of what makes him him, that is really, really creating the undoing and the destruction that is coming for him. He has pages of swords and the page of wands sitting here back to back. So again, childish, right? You've got stuff coming out, stuff he's going to communicate that makes absolutely no sense. And more, you're going to see him flouting the law like a little child. You're going to see him reacting as if, he's the victim, he's being victimized. Poor me, poor me. Oops. Ooh my. Okay, last three cards for Trump. So people are making decisions. People are making judgments. I saw that something like 93 or 97% of people in Florida already know who they're going to vote for. So people are pretty entrenched in their thinking. And that ultimately is going to bring him down because you know what? He built a presidency on cracked foundation. He built a presidency on lies, on cheating, on thievery. And that comes down. And when it does, wowzers, he's out and he's not going to be a happy man. He's really, really not. His message is not going to resonate with people. And he simply is going to find himself, frankly, getting bad news. So, there we have that. There's a quick little spin through DeJOY and McCONNELL and Trump. And got to say, it doesn't look like any of them are going to be having a really great time going forward. So there you have it. Okay, so keep your thoughts positive. Do not fall into negative thinking. Do not feed the vampire. Don't go there. Stay positive, stay strong, and stay focused because the light has and is gaining power and momentum. And we're all going to continue to just stand in that light and do everything that can be done to ensure that we are able to sweep that darkness not only out of the White House, but just gone. Maybe a jail cell, I don't know. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. I love your support. I appreciate it so, so much. Until next time, take care, be well, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.